Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square here with T-Square Talks. Hope everybody's having a great day this Saturday morning. I have a great video planned out for you today. Today, I want to talk a little bit about the 1980s. I want to talk a little bit about the silver moving up higher and what prices were in 1980. And the reason I want to do this video a little bit is because I had a comment earlier today that said, y'all want silver to go up, but when it does, be careful what you wish for, because a gallon of gas is going to be $100, a dozen eggs is going to be $100, and essentially the world is going to be nothing but pure chaos. And personally, I don't believe any of that. I believe prices go up every day and prices come down every day. Bitcoin has skyrocketed and now it's getting destroyed, and it didn't really matter. Nothing changed. And then you have precious metals that have had drastic increases in history, and nothing major has happened. So we're going to take a look at some numbers today, and you guys can put your comments below and see what you guys think. If you think it's going to be all out chaos if silver goes to $100, or if silver goes to even $300, which is a magic number that I'm actually going to use a few times in today's video, only because there was a lot of 30-to-1 references that I had seen. So I may end up saying $300 silver. It doesn't mean silver is going to go to $300 tomorrow. It just may be a reference point that I use, because what is a moonshot on silver is different for every person. I mean, if you've got a lot of silver and you see silver go to $50, you're making a nice profit. If you see silver go to $100, you're making a huge profit. And if you see silver go, you could just have a small amount of silver, and if it goes to $300, you're still going to be sitting really pretty. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. If you enjoyed today's video, please take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up button, because it really does help me out more than you know. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. A special thank you to all of our members of the channel that do support the channel by becoming a member. It is only $1.99 to become a member, and on top of that, you get entered into every special event that we do, which is we do one special silver event every month where somebody has a shot at winning a free ounce of silver, which is pretty cool. And a special thank you to Fernando Gomez for just becoming a member today. So thank you very much for that. Your comments will get shot once it actually registers on YouTube. It usually takes a day before it registers, but once you become, your comments will go directly to my phone, which is pretty cool. Not your replies, but your comments do. And a special happy birthday to Gregory Martinez. So happy birthday, Gregory. Okay, jumping in real quick, let's take a look at what silver did today. Silver is sitting at $33.77, which is nice. I mean, we're still up there. We're down about a quarter. To me, a quarter is not anything that I'm disappointed on by any means. I'm happy with that. It's not a big deal. Excuse me. Taking a quick look at gold, we did have gold really overshoot. We ended up going up to $3,004 today, which was a really nice marker. It didn't hold that position. As you can see, as soon as it hit $3,000, literally a huge amount of sales started triggering. And I really think that that was premature sales. A lot of that is manipulation, I do believe. However, it happened fast, so it could have actually been a lot of just preset sales. Once gold hit a specific number, it's easy to set your paper trades to sell or buy based on price. So, and I think they premature sold, because honestly, I think gold and silver is going to go a whole lot higher. Although I do think that, and some people are against this theory, I do think we could see a little bit of a dip on gold and silver between now and the end of the month. But by a little bit, I do not mean we're going to see the price plunge by any drastic amount. If we see $32 silver, that's a nice dip to me. I mean, I really enjoy the dips, even if they're only $1 or whatever, because I like to put in order. Some of y'all know I do have my tax return coming, and I'm looking forward to that. It's a nice big amount this year. And so we'll see what happens, how that plays out, and how I decide to invest that. You'll see my package opening. Moving on, we got the DXY, the dollar index, still sitting at 103.7. Not much movement. It's not really falling. It's not really going up. But we have the Fed meeting next week. We've been all waiting anxiously for that. I think that's going to be a little bit of excitement. Moving on, I want to take a look right now at silver hitting. The charts say 49.45, which is technically wrong in my opinion. In 1980, it would actually hit $50 and change during day trading. However, it didn't close at that. It closed at $49.49. That was 45 cents. That was the actual close. A lot of people say that was the Hunt brothers manipulating it. I think it had a lot to do with inflation during the late 70s, that people were all talking about inflation. And so a lot of people, including the Hunt brothers, were trying to buy up silver. Now, the Hunt brothers just were some of the biggest players. But I think there was a lot of people. I mean, I see people in the comments that remember this. Some of the older people, they remember what happened, and they remember buying silver back. They remember pulling silver out of the cash registers in 64. So it's not like, oh, silver wasn't really talked about back then. It has become less, I guess, popular, you might say, because there were stories about the Hunt brothers where they basically lost everything, went bankrupt, and you should not invest in that, and it's bad, and this and that. But at the time, I want you to understand for a quick minute, silver went from pretty much $5 all the way up to, and I think $5 is being generous. I mean, it was actually less than that, I'm sure. But we're going to say $5 because I know in 2000 I could buy silver at $5. And it went all the way up to $50 in 2011. However, I was not smart enough to buy back then. In fact, I heard about it and I was a naysayer. I was one of them naysayers. But I'm not no more. Okay, so let's just say silver had a 10x move for easy numbers. I mean, I guess I could pull up the exact if I can. Let's see if I can pull up the exact. I mean, I don't know, 430 roughly, right around 430. Yeah, so I mean, I think a 10x move is pretty safe to say 10x. I mean, yeah, I could have bought it back here when it was under $1, but let's be real. Let's just go with a 10x move. We seen it skyrocket 10x. Did it stay up there? No. A lot of people know the story about the Hunt brothers, and that had a lot to do with it. Once you take out some of the biggest players in the silver buying community, then obviously, I mean, it comes down fast and hard. However, you also have to understand there wasn't nearly as much money back then. $50 meant something in 1980. Think about it. $50. I mean, for people that don't know what $50 was in 1980 compared to today, I wanted to pull up some prices and talk a little bit about it. A dozen eggs was 84 cents. What are they now? $3.50? And I know someone might say, no, they're technically $9, but they're calling that because of how they put down a lot of chicken. I can't even say the word or I make it in trouble. Gas was $1.19. What's gas today? I would say roughly 3 times that amount today. Here where I'm at, it's only $2.40, $2.45, but I'm right near the refineries, so I mean, I won't count me. Milk, $1.29, $1.30. Let's say it's probably 3 times higher today. I would say milk is about $4 a gallon now. A loaf of bread, 50 cents. I buy the cheap wheat bread for $1. Hey, that's 2 nights in a row. 2 nights in a row. Is that pronounced Pepsi? Pepsi? Big Pipsy 74. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Someone did it yesterday during filming. That's so crazy. So I don't know. My bread, like I said, it's only 99 cents. However, I would say loaf of bread's about $2 now. $1.50. We'll say 3 times. Chicken, 70 cents a pound for a whole chicken. I would say it's at least $2 a pound. $2.10. I think 3x is pretty generous. Apples 59. I don't buy apples, so I don't know. Bacon, I generally don't buy bacon because it has gotten so expensive here. I would say it's about 3x on the bacon maybe. Bananas, 3 pounds for $1. And bananas haven't gone up that much. I would say they're about 60 cents, only 2 times. Top sirloin, yeah, that's out of my price range. I'm a silver stacker and a ramen noodle eater. Peanut butter and jelly. Butter, oh my word, butter is expensive. I eat popcorn every night. In fact, my popcorn prepper just went out tonight. I love popcorn, and I only put real butter on it. So as you go through these prices, I want you to understand for a quick minute what was going on in 1980 that silver shot up. It was not the end of the world for anything. Silver went up 10x, and it did not change a whole lot of stuff. The truth of the matter is, if prices of something go up, people either A, look for an alternative, or they don't buy it. Now, if it goes up high enough. However, with silver, we've seen 10x moves on silver twice now. And one of the big things that I always say I'm heavier in silver for is because of the growth potential. I estimate easily a 10x move on silver, and I estimated at about a $25 range. So that the climb has already started. If you were in it on 10x and made a 10x move on your money, that would put silver at $250 at a 10x move off $25 baseline. Now, I realize silver is at 33, but I think the climb has already started. If you see a 10x move right now, obviously that would be $330. But like I said, I think it's already started. I don't think it will be the end of the world if silver goes up. Do I think the economy will be in bad shape? Yeah, the economy was in rough shape in 1980. They were suffering from inflation. The economy was in rough shape in 2011 because they had just done the bank bailouts. We had the 2008 financial crisis. We did extremely QE and bank bailouts. It was obscene. And we printed so much money, it was unbelievable. Now, why does that matter? Because when you print a lot of money, that money has to go somewhere. It either goes in your personal savings account, or it goes in the stock market, or it goes into your 401k. Who knows? It goes somewhere. If it's me, it goes into precious metals. So that money will flow somewhere. When all of that money flows in, where's it going to go? Okay? People are not going to want to put it in the stock market when the stock market is constantly hitting down days until they know the bottom is in. And a lot of people will miss the bottom. Let's be honest. When the bottom of the stock market comes, most people will miss it. There will be a lot of money that will flow in there, and they're going to have the attitude of, I'm just going to buy and hold. And maybe that's not a bad strategy if you're buying it at a lower price than it is today. There's going to be a lot of people that will put their money maybe into Bitcoin when Bitcoin comes crashing down. But it's possible that so many people will lose so much money on Bitcoin that they'll be buying the dips. And as the price comes down, they're going to be putting more money in it. And they're just going to be throwing away more and more money. How many people are going to buy when Bitcoin hits 15,000? And I know some people out there are going to say it's never going to hit 15,000. It's a possibility. And it's a possibility it could go even lower. And it's a possibility most cryptos could come to an end, essentially. And anybody that don't believe that, there's cryptos out there that have met their demise, essentially. So with that being said, you have to understand, where's that money going to flow? A lot of people are already pushing their money into gold because these are rich people. They know that if they buy silver, they're probably going to get unwanted attention, like the Hunt brothers did, unless they're careful about it and they're, hiring people maybe at minimum wage to go out and start picking up as much silver from cities, coin shops. But how much money can you really move like that? The most they're going to be able to do is $9,900 a day. because of rules and regulations. However, there's going to be people out there that are going to be pouring their money into silver, and silver is going to continue going up, and gold is going to continue going up, in my opinion. None of what I say on here is financial advice, nor should it be considered as such. But I want people to understand what's happening now. What makes people think that this is going to turn around? You know, some people, I've heard people say nothing goes up forever, and silver is up to $33, $34. You know what? That's not a lot. It's not even at its 1980 highs. It's not at its 2011 highs. And look how much more money is in the system. When silver takes off, it's not going to surprise me to see $300 silver. But that will take time. Take a look at the climb here. You know, silver started climbing in roughly, we're going to maybe say April of 78. April of 78. And it went until January 18th of 1980. So it had about 2 years roughly of climb. That 2 years, it didn't go up overnight. But 2 years is incredible gains. You know, you look here, you know, silver started going up in roughly, we're going to say right there, October of 03. That took roughly 8 years before it hit its high. Now, you know, one thing that I was actually listening to earlier, which I kind of found interesting, was the frequency of these jumps. How it seems like the gap is getting closed. So like we had like 1980, and then 2011 we had its big one, although this could have been considered, in my opinion, a pretty good position in 08 when it really spiked, but then it got beat down. Why did it get beat down? Because of QE. We pumped so much money in bank bailouts that all that money in those banks allowed banks to do essentially even risky spending, and they were buying precious metals. They were beating the paper price down because they didn't want this taken off. And I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen a certain amount again, but it's not going to come until some major announcement that we're going to print trillions of dollars and just pump it into the economy. Now, some people out there are going to say that will never happen. Some people will say that will. Some people call it helicopter money. Who knows the future? But what is inevitable is the price cannot be held down. The more money that's in the system, the greater the gains, because that money has to flow somewhere. And it wasn't the end of the world in 1980. It wasn't the end of the world in 2011. And it's not going to be the end of the world in 2025 or 2026. So you have to understand. Now, a lot of people also out there will say the big W word, the three-letter W word is going to happen. I mean, it could happen, but all that does is promotes. Everything these people say promotes silver and gold going higher, and they don't even realize that. The fact is, you know, oh, well, maybe bread and eggs and all that stuff, maybe you believe that those prices will go up. But I have a belief that if prices get too high, people won't buy them. I can tell you when eggs shot up to $8 a dozen, I wasn't eating eggs. The restaurants that I go to and that I know the owners of, they weren't putting eggs on the salad bar. They weren't putting eggs in the stir fry, the hibachi. None of them places had eggs. They took them all off the menu. And the reason they did that is because the price has gotten too high. People will look for alternatives. And if you don't believe that will happen, take a look what happened during cough cough. When certain items got too expensive, people stopped buying them. Now, they're probably not going to stop buying gas. But look at the gas price right now. The gas price is down right now. You go into a recession or a depression, there's going to be a lot of people that are not going to be buying gas. They're not going to be traveling. They're not going to be taking that spring break vacation. They're not going to be taking the summer vacation. They're not going to be taking a cruise. You know, so you'll have gas prices come down because people won't be taking the big trips. Now, for me, that's an opportunity. That's when I like to take trips, when no one else can. When people don't want to because the prices were too high, then the prices come down, and then that's when I want to start, you know, taking advantage of it. So who knows? Same with a vehicle. I want to buy a newer, not new, a newer vehicle when a lot of people have to sell their vehicles because they can't afford it because their 401ks get destroyed. Their retirements got destroyed. And who's going to have money? The silver and the gold stackers. And anybody that thinks, oh, well, this is another argument that I've heard. Who's going to buy silver at $50? If nobody was buying it at $50 in 1980, and no one was buying it at $50 in 2011, what makes you think people will buy $50 silver in 2025 or $2026 or $100 silver or $300 silver? The truth of the matter is, when people get scared, they want to put their money into something else. And what normally beats the price of silver down is the paper trades. And I'm convinced a lot of these paper traders that are shorting silver are getting squeezed hard right now. They will take huge losses. The question is, will government bail them out or not? If they take such big losses, are they squeezing silver? Are they trying to manipulate silver down for government? Who knows? You're getting in some. I would have to put more research into why they do it, but I believe they're doing it because they're pushing the price down with paper, and then they're taking physical custody of physical. And therefore, you basically are going to have a huge stockpile of silver that's just paper. It's paper IOUs. And then something major is going to happen, whether it be a Carrington effect, a solar flare, EMP, cyber attack. Something will happen, and that will probably be the excuse that, oh, we lost all the paper contracts, everything's going to go to zero. Remember what happened in the nickel market at one point when nickel skyrocketed? What'd they do? They shut the nickel market down. They reset it. They rolled back everybody's trades. Anybody that bought, they basically got out of their buy. And anybody that sold got out of their sold. It was ridiculous. A lot of that had to do with JP Morgan. A story came out that someone took physical custody of like tons and tons of nickel, and it turned into being river rock. Anybody that hasn't heard about that, it's a good read to look up. JP Morgan nickel turns into river rock. Let's see if we can find it. Right here. Fake nickel. Closer look. Is this it? I think this was it. Might be it. I don't know. JP Morgan thought it owned 54 metric tons of nickel sitting in bags in a warehouse, and it turned out to be shiny rocks. Nothing more than shiny rocks. It's kind of funny because I think a similar thing could happen with silver. I mean, anything can happen. And whose side did they take on this? Obviously, they didn't really take a hit for this. It was ridiculous what happened. Can you imagine? Oh, yeah, this is all nickel. Oh, it's just river rocks. So anybody that hasn't read up on this, I recommend you read it. It was a fun read. So that's going to conclude today's video. Only 23 minutes. Okay. I hope you guys understand the price of silver and gold can both continue to go up. We're not even taking into account some crazy Fed audit, Fort Knox audit, and there not being gold there, or them revaluing gold to a higher number. I don't think revaluing gold is really going to make a huge difference. It might on the balance sheet. All of a sudden, it will make it look like we're a little more in balance and from our debt to what we have. And then all of a sudden, we can borrow more money. And all that's going to do is just ruin stuff even more. Because the truth of the matter is, you shouldn't be borrowing obscene amounts of money. I mean, these people that are going in debt with credit cards, it never ends well. I mean, are there a few people that know how to work the system? I'll be honest. When I was in real estate, I was very good at using credit cards to my advantage for remodeling. And we would hurry up. We'd get it remodeled, and then I would hurry up and sell it. And yes, in some cases, I did have to pay interest. But in a lot of cases, back then, credit cards would give you 12 months interest free, because they were looking for people that were solid lenders. Now, The majority of the people that use credit cards don't know how to use them, and they're in debt over their head. I still to this day use credit cards to my advantage with precious metals, but I would not recommend that for anybody because that can be really dangerous. The only reason I do it is I know, like, I know my tax return is most likely going to come in a month, say, maybe less. I don't know. Someone told me they were running 8 weeks behind. I don't know if that's true or not, but either way, it doesn't matter. I'm sure my money will come in. It just may not buy me much at that point. But you know what it will do? It will still pay my credit card bill in 30 days when the bill comes. And it's actually you can have more than 30 days technically, because if you charge it the first day of the bill of the working cycle, you have 30 days until the bill closes, and then you have like 30 days before you have to pay it. So, but like I said, I would not recommend anybody buying metals with credit, or you could end up owing. But for the most part, every time I've done it, it worked out for me, because by the time I had to pay the bill, I couldn't touch metals for that price. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap up the video here. I thank y'all for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you guys again on T-Square Talk. Please hit that like button for me if you enjoyed today's video, and leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. I love to hear them. Even if you just leave me a comment, good morning, that really helps because it makes it easy for me to keep up with. And on top of that, it helps the algorithm because it is a comment. Any comments that come in, whether they're negative or positive, it helps the algorithm. So thank you for watching and commenting. I hope you all have a great one. And once again, thank you, Fernando, for becoming a member. And happy birthday, Martinez. So you guys both have a great day. And everybody have a great day and a great weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.